Hey there, and welcome to The Explainer. When most of us think about winemaking, we immediately picture these gorgeous, sun-drenched vineyards, quiet, dusty cellars, and just that whole romantic tradition of the harvest. But right beneath that tranquil surface, there is a fascinating, literally invisible battlefield. Today, we're diving deep into the microscopic war of wine stabilization.
I mean, just look at that perfect pour. It looks absolutely elegant, right? But seriously, think about this for a second. Wine is essentially just fruit juice left in a barrel. So why doesn't this luxurious, expensive drink just turn into a cloudy, awful-tasting bottle of salad vinegar sitting on your shelf? Well, the only reason it doesn't is because of a highly engineered, invisible battle that the winemaker is fighting behind the scenes.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to take a microscopic journey through four main phases today. 1. The quest for perfect wine. 2. The invisible wine spoilers. 3. A microbe's breeding ground. And 4. The art of stabilization. Let's get into it. Starting off with Section 1, the quest for perfect wine, and the ultimate goal of stabilization. To really grasp what's happening in this war, we have to know what we're actually fighting for. And that is a wine's ability to age gracefully, without losing any of its complex, beautiful flavors. Enter our hero, microbiological stabilization. Now, obviously, we absolutely want microbial activity during fermentation. That's how we get alcohol. But stabilization, that's the crucial shield that goes up after. It halts any further unwanted activity, prevents defects, and basically ensures the winemaker's masterpiece ages exactly as they intended. Moving to Section 2, the invisible wine spoilers. Let's meet the microscopic invaders. So, in this microscopic conflict, we've got two very distinct sides. On one side, we have our beneficial troops. These are the good guys, like Saccharomyces yeasts, which actually drive the fermentation, and controlled lactic acid bacteria, which winemakers intentionally use to soften the wine's acidity. But lurking on the other side, the invaders. We're talking acetic bacteria, wild rogue yeasts, and invasive molds. And these guys are sneaky. They can breach the winery through the air, through the water, or even hitch a ride on damaged grapes straight from the vineyard. And let me tell you, if those invaders win, the results are an absolute horror show for your senses. These are the casualties of spoilage. Picture this. You open a nice, expensive bottle of still red wine, pour a glass, and suddenly there are fizzy, unwanted secondary bubbles in it. Why? Because rogue yeasts started fermenting the leftover sugars. Or even worse, acetic bacteria get in there and convert the alcohol into acetic acid. Boom, you've got that dreaded vinegary taste. Some of these microbes even pump out mercaptans. That's a fancy word for compounds that literally make your wine smell like garlic or rotten onions. No way, right? Or they release volatile phenols, leaving this harsh, medicinal flavor, and totally wrecking the wine's visual appeal, turning it into murky turbidity and gross sediment. Which brings us to Section 3, a microbe's breeding ground. Let's look at the vineyard battlefield. So you might be wondering, why do these invaders attack in the first place? Well, the truth is, grape must, which is the freshly pressed juice before it becomes wine, is essentially an all-you-can-eat nutrient soup. It is absolutely packed with water, sugars, organic acids, and nitrogen. To a microbe, it's paradise. It's a literal buffet. If the winemaker isn't incredibly careful, this incredibly rich environment will breed the exact things that are trying to destroy it. And as you can see, environmental conditions are totally the kingmakers in this war. It's wild how much they matter. Take the pH level. That's absolutely critical. It completely dictates whether acidic-tolerant or alkaline-preferring strains are going to thrive. Then you have temperature, which is a massive weapon. It can either accelerate microbial reproduction to dangerous levels or just halt it in its tracks. And oxygen exposure, that is basically throwing gasoline on a fire. It fuels unwanted oxidation and causes a massive explosion of spoilage organisms. And to give you an idea of just how ridiculously precise the science gets, check this out. The wine's own alcohol content actually enhances the sterilizing action of heating. Depending on the alcohol level, the required temperature for treatment can actually vary by 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. It's not just basic cooking. It's this incredibly delicate, interconnected dance of chemistry and physics happening right there in the barrel. All right, let's head into Section 4, the art of stabilization. This is how we defend the wine. Winemakers don't just hope for the best. They use a very meticulous, step-by-step defense strategy. Step 1, rigorous, obsessive cleaning and hygiene of literally every surface. Step 2 actually starts out in the vineyard with a careful selection of grapes, discarding absolutely anything that looks damaged.
Step 3 relies on strict temperature control and the precise, heavily measured use of sulfites to knock out bad microbes. And finally, step 4 is hermetic sealing and purging oxygen. They basically choke out any remaining aerobic invaders that need air to survive.
The huge takeaway here is that stabilization is definitely not just a one-time event. It requires a massive, ongoing arsenal. Winemakers are using cold clarification and physical filtration to literally pull microbes right out of the liquid. They're using controlled fermentations with highly specific yeast strains just to outcompete the bad guys. It demands strict personal hygiene for all the winery staff and just relentless, constant chemical and microbiological analysis. They have to detect any microscopic breach before it spreads like wildfire. Ultimately, it really all comes back to this thought. Microbiological stabilization is incredibly technical, for sure, but it is not just chemistry for chemistry's sake. It's a safeguard for the quality and integrity of a beverage that has deep, centuries-old cultural roots. The whole shebang is about ensuring that the identity and the tradition of the wine survive that long journey from the vineyard all the way to your dining table.
It really kind of changes how you look at what's in your glass, doesn't it? So I want to leave you with this. Next time you open a bottle, pour yourself a glass and take that very first sip. Will you taste the invisible war that was meticulously fought and won just so you could sit back and enjoy it? Keep that in mind, and as always, keep learning.